What is going on, guys? Winner Kills here. We are back with another post-commentary duel video, and we've got sort of a mirror match. We've got Invoked Mekk versus Invoked Spellbook with a Silent Magician engine in it. It's pretty cool. Although both decks, as you can see, are running Invoked, or on Invoked, but both running in the Spellbook engine. You know, the Blue Boy, the Secrets, the Knowledge. But however, the build on the right is playing a Mekk engine, and the build on the left is playing a Silent Magician engine, just to be able to get out like Silent Magician level 4, and the ability it has to negate spells, and Secret Village, I believe, is also being played on the build on the left. However, might not fare too well in this matchup, as obviously they both play plenty of spellcasters, so we'll get to see some Mekk plays though here. It looks like Mekk Blue Sky will be placed on the field, and then we'll see a Spellbook of Secrets get activated. It's going to be able to search any Spellbook card. Let's see what he goes and grabs. He's going to go for the Spellbook of Knowledge, and there is Alistair going to go grab a Invocation. Now, like I said, this is a mirror match. And when using a card like Invocation in this mirror match, it's definitely one thing to be mindful of how you are using your Invocation. It might seem easy, to be able to banish from either player's graveyard. Oh, they've got an Alistair to use. Why don't I just banish it for them with my own Invocation? We'll see that Pot of Desires go off as well, and a Meltdown being played. But you want to be kind of careful when, and like I said, when you're going to banish the Alistair from the grave, because then if they put an Invocation in their grave, even if it just gets sent there via discard or destruction from something like Twin Twister per se, that's a free use of Invocation they get to add, get to use, putting that Alistair back in their hand as they recycle the Invocation. So something you want to be mindful of as well. Just a little bit of strategy, I guess I would say, when in the mirror match. Just be careful how you're banishing that Alistair. Let's see what our Mekk Invoke player is going to do next. We're going to see the Invocation banishing Alistair from grave and sending another Mekk from hand. It looks like it's going to be another copy of Blue Sky. Going to be and summoning out Mekk and getting the Invocation effect off, following suit. And then we're going to see what looks like to be Purple Nightfall. Gonna go ahead and summon Purple Nightfall to the field. It is in a zone where there are 2 cards in that column. And looks like our Invoked Spellbook Silent Magician player on the left there is going ahead and scoop it up there for game 1. Probably too much advantage built up on the right side of the field already. Not worth the time or the effort to go into that game any longer. We'll see our Invoked Mekk player going first here. Starting things off simply with an Alistair summon, and then a Spellbook of Knowledge to draw and tribute that Alistair away. Setting 1 card face down, perhaps not. Checking the graveyard, see what he's going to do next, and it looks like that is going to be it for his turn. Nothing else to show. What looked like to perhaps maybe start off as a good turn, not so good. And then he's going to obviously, like I said, pass back over to our player here on the left, deciding now with this given opportunity, what to do. We're going to see that Alistair get banished with no Invocation in grave. So he'll have to get another Alistair or something to grab an Invocation to recycle that. So this is probably one of the best times to do, use Invocation against your opponent like that and banish their Alistair when they don't have a chance to, get another Invocation. Terraformings, Alistairs being activated here, Meltdowns, and then we'll see Alistair and Mekk attacking for a total of 3,500 damage, and then we'll see Secret Village of the Spellcasters being played, which I believe states that while you control a spellcaster while that card is up, your opponent cannot activate spells unless they themselves control a spellcaster. Obviously, this is a deck, our Mekk Invoke player playing a lot of spellcasters in it, but the Mekk Knights, they're all psychic. So if there's a lot of those chilling in his hand, they're not going to do him too good. Can't activate any Spellbook of Knowledges. However, he could if, you know, he had a card like Blue Boy. Or Alistair would probably help out very, very much right now. But we're going to see Blue Sky hit the board. And I don't know if he'll be able to get his effect off here. Special summon his hand, then he can only special summon Mekk Knights, or one Mekk Knight, Blue Sky. And then if it's normal summon or special summon from your hand, you can add Mekk Knight monsters with different names, except itself from his hand equal to the number of cards your opponent, of opponent's cards in this card's column. So 1. So he gets to search 1 there. I had to pull up the card here on my other screen just to make sure I get the effects straight. Still kind of unfamiliar with all their effects. I knew there was some sort of searching involved, but when it is summoned in a card in a column with 2 or more cards, he gets to search an equal number of Mekk Knights equal to the number of cards in that same column on his side of the field. So if you were to have, let's say, that Mekka there, and then a monster below that, and then a spell or trap below that, he'd probably be able to search. Pretty sure he'd be able to search, yeah, 3 other Mekk Knight cards from his deck. So definitely something you want to be mindful of in this matchup particularly. Then we saw Invocation being played to banish that Ghost Ogre from his opponent's grave, and then the Alistair from his graveyard, or from his side of the field. And since there are no more spellcasters on the player on the left side's field, he will be able to use that Cosmic Cyclone to get rid of that Secret Sanctuary for good. And now we're going to see an Altergeist monster, I believe it is. Which one is this? Altergeist Malusik. I think that, yeah, this card can attack directly, and then if it does, you can target 1 card his opponent controls and send it to the graveyard. This card is really fantastic. I was thinking about playing it in Mermails, actually. It's just a card to deal with problem cards, and then make Goblin later to get an extra normal summon. But it just removes problem cards. It forces out negations in this case, but he'll be able to attack directly, send the Mekaba to the graveyard, and then swing over Blue Sky with his own Mekaba. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else he could do in that situation. The Altergeist monster proving to be a great way to out problem cards, because it can attack directly on its own, and then if it deals battle damage, you know, you get to send one card your opponent controls to the graveyard. Really, really awesome card, and comes in a nice ultra rare as well. So that is it for our player on the left turn. We'll head over to the Invoked Mekk Knight player. I'll refer to the player on the right as Invoked Mekk Knight, and the player on the left is Invoked Spellbook, I guess, even though they're both running the Spellbook engine. And now we're going to see what could be a crucial activation of Invocation. Banishing a Psyframe from his graveyard, does playing a Psyframe engine in this build as well. He'll be able to get a Mekaba on board himself. And then another Alistair now hitting the board. Grabbing that Invocation. Doesn't even bother shuffling. Just going to put it right back in the top of his deck, because he knows I'm going to go right back in for it. And then a Spellbook of Knowledge now being played to draw 2 to get rid of that. Alistair, of course, no longer being needed. Might as well take the few extra draws. Setting another Invocation down. Summoning to the field the Mekk Knight Indigo Eclipse. And using its effect to change its position in order to summon a Blue Sky to the field. And then, of course, since his opponent does have 1 card in that same column, Blue Sky will be able to search 1 other Mekk Knight card from his deck, as we saw. But right now, Indigo Eclipse and Blue Sky on their own are absolutely not enough to get over that other Mekaba on the other side of the field. But he can clear away that Altergeist Malusik if desired, but instead he feels that it's going to be a better option to go into Underclock Taker, which is weird because he can't even use its effect at this point, simply because of the fact that an Underclock Taker needs to target, be pointing to one of your own monsters in order to do the attack manipulation. So that was a complete waste. He could have kept that Mekaba on board himself. And his Invocation will be negated, I believe, by discarding that monster born from his own Mekaba. and I think he would have been much better off just keeping his own Mekka on the board, so at least he has a chance, you know, to have a negation or have a say in some of his opponent's plays next turn, but we'll be able to clear the Altergeist Malusik anyways, which I guess is kind of good, but probably really missing that Mekka at this point, which is, you know, mistakes happen, but I've definitely made worse plays, I can tell you that much. Now we'll see Terraforming go ahead and grab that Meltdown, which I assume is obviously just going to grab that Alistair. Right now has a very easy chance of dealing with this field. They're going to go ahead and crash the Underclock Taker with the Alistair and swing over Indigo for 100 points of damage with his Mekka. Now leaving the other opponent, the Mekk Knight player, in sort of a rough position. I think I see a Psyframe card in his hand. Not doing him too good. I don't know how I feel about playing the Psyframe engine on top of that. I think, because I already know his build plays a lot of hand traps. I don't think it's necessary to play the Psyframe engine as well. I can see, you know, giving you extra light targets and stuff. But I mean, you're playing the Mekk Knight engine, so at that point you're already giving yourself plenty of, you know, light targets. And then we're gonna see the Wind Witches. One of them, I think that's what are the Wind Witches' names again? It's been a minute. It's been a minute since the Wind Witches have come down. I'm forgetting their names, man. But I think it is the level 4 one that searches, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Wind Witch Glassbell, I think, is the one he just summoned, which searches. But yeah, probably feeling pretty bad about that play earlier with the Mekka and the Underclock Taker. That might have cost him the game, but we'll see if he can redeem himself here in game 3, where our Invoked Spellbook player will be starting things off with a copy of Terraforming. Could either go for Secret Village or Grand Tower or a copy of Meltdown, and it's going to go ahead and be the copy of Meltdown. Alistair now going to go ahead and search for Invocation. Looks like no hand traps of any sort. Now we'll see Invocation come down and send that Ghost Ogre to the grave, get rid of that Alistair, go for Mekka as per usual. Now going to recycle that Invocation with Invocation's own effect, add Alistair back to hand, and pass it over to our Invoked Mekk Knight player, apparently Psyframe player as well. And you know how much I hate Psyframes. I absolutely despise them. Droll and Lockbird being activated. I think I see a Psyframe Gamma in his hand, the level 7 Manila. That's really gotta suck. We'll see the classic T set, and then he'll end his turn there. But Battle Phase is going to go ahead and go into attacking that set card. It's going to be Alistair. Alistair will flip up to search. He'll go to negate it with Mekka, and that Mekka negation will be met with a Ghost Ogre. Cosmic Cyclone now going to be activated and hit that Invocation while it's still on field. Yes, you can do that. It just will now be banished while it was face up on the field while it was being activated. But of course, the Invocation will still go off, so he'll lose, you know, the Invocation, the Mekka, and the Alistair from grave, which is unfortunate. He won't get the recycle effect, but he still gets the Mekka on board, which is better than nothing. And then the classic set 1 and pass. Monster Reborn in hand. Now, this is something he was talking about after the match, my friend Adam. A mistake that he made. He had Monster Reborn in hand. However, he was worried about the other opponent having a Monster Reborn of his own. So in the simplified game state, he wanted to banish his Mekka from grave instead of Ghost Ogre. So in case he did have that Monster Reborn, he would not have the option to take that Mekka out of his grave, because obviously that would have been a huge shift in advantage, especially in the simplified game state that we're in. A small change like that, a Monster Reborn to bring back that Mekka, would have been very, very rough. We're going to see the Purple Nightfall hit the field now. 2,500 attack. However, still not enough to get over Mekka. But we're going to see Invocation get flipped up now. Still has that Psyframe monster in hand, which could be used for, obviously, a light monster. Going to banish Alistair and Ghost Ogre from his grave. Recycle his own Alistair and shuffle that invocation back into the deck. Now has a Mekka of his own. And gonna ditch Alistair from hand to run over his own Mekka. Secret Village still in hand, has Monster Reborn right now. Will it go through? Nope, not gonna. Two other spell cards in hand, field spells to be. Spellbook, Tower, and Secret Village. Maybe mind gamed himself a little too much there in preparation for, you know, hoping he doesn't have the Monster Reborn, which he ended up not having. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Probably gonna be double uploading again today. Hope you guys are enjoying those. Don't know if it's probably not gonna be a regular thing. I'm just feeling like I want to produce more content because it's fun. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.